Hello, cupcakes! Welcome back to Ark Survival Evolved. This is Mushroom, and today we will be going over some of the most game-changing items and whether they should be in the game at launch in Ark Survival Ascended. Many of us who are planning on buying ASA at launch are looking forward to getting some of the same experience we got all those years ago before all the new maps came out. These new DLCs changed the way that we played and made survival on the Arks easy, mainly with the items that they introduced. Many of us can remember having to raise creatures like Gigas and Rexes and Spinos all on regular troughs with no cryopods, having to try and get imprints, and having a million different types of kibbles. The absolute struggle that it was to survive was crazy, and it was difficult, but many of us remember these times fondly. In this video, I'm going to dive into whether these items should be available at launch, and I really want to know your opinions in the comments below. Depending on your thoughts, I may do a follow-up video going through them. So let's get into it. Number 1, of course, is the Cryopod. Of course, when we think of game-changing items, we think of the Cryopod, the Pokeball that put an end to staying up with your baby Gigas for 12 hours in a row just to get them out of the baby base. Cryopods also ensure that you're able to get 100% imprinting, as you can change what the creature is requesting by putting the baby in the Cryopod and throwing it back out. This way, you don't have to have a million different items in your fridge on hand at all points. Cryopods are also great for PvP, as you're able to have pocket Gigas. If you're in a fight or if you're doing anything, you're able to pull a Giga out of your back pocket. It changes interactions very quickly. As well, Cryopods are great for storage and for moving different creatures, especially boss armies when you're getting them to and from the obelisk. Many of us remember the days before Cryopods when the team cap for a tribe and for the whole server was an issue. These were the days when people would not be able to hatch their creatures or breed any new creatures because there were just too many on the Ark. It was very unfortunate, and Cryopods put an end to that. Cryopods also make it possible for solo survivors and small tribes to survive and hide in PvP, where they're able to keep their creatures out of the sight of larger tribes. So the Cryopod was not introduced until Extinction was released, which I believe was the 4th? Yes, it was the 4th map that came out. So we spent a very long time, we spent years living in primitive Ark without the Cryopod. So this brings us to, is it worth it to lose the primitive experience for all of the conveniences of the Cryopod? The next game-changing item that I wanted to discuss is the Netgun. This was released in the Gen 2 expansion. Netguns can catch creatures of various sizes up to the flying behemoth, the Quetzal, and the Manigamer, the flying cat from Extinction. Netguns reduce the need for taming traps which litter around a server, and they're also extremely strong in PvP, where you're able to net another survivor or their team, and the only escape is to cut your way out. The Netguns have absolutely revolutionized taming, making the process way easier, especially for the more difficult creatures to tame, like the Quetzal, as you're able to Netgun it and pull it back down to the ground. This is one I am very interested to hear your opinion on, as it makes the game way easier to play. And is that something that we want, or is that something that we want to wait until the expansion comes out for it? Number 3 is the mining drill, which was introduced at the beginning of Genesis 1. The mining drill collects everything from wood to metal. You collect a much larger amount of materials than you would get while using a pick, and while equipped, the resource weight will actually be reduced as well. The mining drill is outshadowed by tames like the Strider, as well as the Magmasaur, but these tames aren't going to be released at launch. So these would be extremely strong if they were allowed to be released at launch. Although you're not actually able to fight anything with it, I believe that you are able to use them on passive tames. Not that that's super helpful, but they have completely revolutionized harvesting. And the 4th item is the chainsaw. The chainsaw is a gas-powered tool introduced in the Scorched Earth expansion. It saves a survivor tons of time gathering wood, as it's able to gather extreme amounts from trees, especially redwood trees. The chainsaw is also uniquely useful in gathering mutton. If it is used to harvest the body of an ovis, it gathers much more than a creature would if you just ate the body. I actually hadn't used the chainsaw when Scorched Earth came out. I actually used it in Ragnarok. I remember building near the bottom of the map, and the chainsaw has saved me hours and hours of work. So, the chainsaw is strong, but does it take away from the survival experience like some of the others on the list? And the fifth item I wanted to talk about is the Incubator. The Incubator is a structure introduced in the Genesis 2 expansion. It has changed breeding vastly, but it has also greatly impacted the way survivors build their bases without the need for ACs. Incubators have played a huge part in effortless raising, as eggs can be left in the incubator for days at a time without hatching or even expiring. They do eventually expire, but you do not have to stay with them or set a timer like you would have to with ACs. The incubator has also made the process of mutating creatures so much easier, as you don't have to wait to see the creature stats and colors before you hatch it. You can go right up to it, see the mutations, you can see the colors and everything, and it is just a huge difference. You're able to do this for live births as well. There's an option in the menu on the incubator where it gives you a little buff, so you can go up to a pregnant creature and see the exact same stats. It's fantastic. Bases are able to be a lot smaller without the need for large rooms of AC units. I believe that these have helped the server lag, but have they caused us to deviate a little bit too far from the survival experience? So those are the 5 items that I wanted to talk about, but I'm really curious to know where you guys all stand on having these items available at launch on the island. Do you guys want more of a primitive survival experience, or are you wanting to keep the conveniences these items bring? I have my own personal opinion on all 5 of them, but I'm really curious to see your guys' own before I say anything. I'm sure that you PvPers out there have a lot different opinion than my PvEers as well, so I'm really curious to hear the different perspectives. And thank you all for watching. And actually, I have big news coming out for the channel, hopefully next week. I'm really excited to tell you guys. So tune back in, hopefully on Monday I will make a post and let you guys know. As well, please like and subscribe to join the Mushroom Party on our little adventure through the Arks. There's a lot of really exciting stuff coming out for the channel. And for my current members of the Mushroom Party, you guys know that I love you. The amount of love and support that you guys have given me is just amazing. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to the Ark Survival Ascended adventure with all of you guys. So again, this is Mushroom, and I'll see you in the next one.